love was a song sung by a dying swan. And in the night, you hear me calling. You hear me calling. And in your dreams, you see me falling, falling. Breathe in the light. I'll stay here in the shadows. Oh, waiting for a sign as the tide grows. Higher and higher and higher. And when the nights are long, all the stars recall your goodbye, your goodbye. And in the night, you'll hear me calling. You'll hear me calling. And in your dreams, you'll see us you'll hear me calling. You'll hear me calling. And in your dreams, you'll see us flying.
Welcome to LOCKBEARD Random Live number 96. Grooming your children. It's September 22nd, 2022. It's Thursday. Not a regular day, but randoms aren't on a regular day. Thor's Day. Wonder what Thor would think about these fucks. It's crazy. Let me check the chat. Let's see what's going on here. Mr. Lee. Welcome, Mr. Lee. Was first in here, it looks like Donald. Donald says, are we testing YouTube for their tolerance of content? Probably are. Because the kind of people that are responsible for this, they're capable of anything. I mean, hopefully, because this is blowing up, a lot of people are talking about it. It's gotten just completely ridiculous. The far left, the extreme nut jobs, those morons, those idiots, they'll champion, LGBTQ all day long until they don't toe the party line. So they're not actually standing up for LGBTQ. They're not. They just say they are. They're using them as a tool. They're using them as a shield. They're using them as an excuse to get away with stuff. As soon as they don't toe the party line, they get told they're a piece of shit and they get blocked by Twitter and by Venmo and by PayPal and by Google. So the people controlling these organizations, they're a problem, they're criminals, they're scum, they're morons, and they need to be fearful of us and what could happen, what steps we could take to stop them. They have too much power. Just because you're a rich fuck and you own some of the biggest companies there are, doesn't mean you get to do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't mean you get to attempt this because this I don't know. A lot of people are afraid to say the word grooming, because YouTube algorithm, and what this really is it's not. They're not championing trans people. They're not championing gay people. These are people attempting to normalize pedophilia. That's what they want. And any of the people controlling these companies, no matter how rich they think they are, no matter, I don't care how fucking powerful you are, if you are supporting this and you're possibly involved with, a pedophilia. You want to sexualize 5-year-olds. That's what you want to fucking do. Don't even try to deny this shit. We all know what the fuck you're up to. There is no reason to talk to little kids about this shit. This is for their parents. But when you got assholes that are trying to get the parents out of the room, they want to talk to kids alone. They're using public schools to brainwash these children to think what they want. And to get some of them to get these irreversible surgeries that many of them end up regretting later. So this organization, Gays Against Groomers, a couple of months old. They're a group of people, LGBTQ community, who are against this nonsense, against this grooming bullshit. And now they're getting treated like they are some kind of far-right Nazis. Yeah, I'm saying a lot of bad words today, YouTube. You can take this shit down if you want. Whatever, because people are going to keep talking. And you criminals are going to eventually have to pay somehow. It's got to happen. Something's got to happen to stop you guys. Now, I mean, before we get into it, I mean, let's talk about who controls Google. See, Google used to, a company, you bought so many shares, right? And each share had an equal weight as far as how much power in the company you had. So if you bought 51% of the shares, you had controlling interest in the company. Well, it's not exactly like that anymore. So with Google, they have these different types of shares, and some shares have more voting power to them than others. So it isn't as simple as owning 51% of the shares. There are special shares that only certain people get. Certain people, like the co-founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin. And I think we need to look at the faces of these guys, don't you think? I think we need to look at the faces of these guys, because if this shit's going down, Google, of course, reorganized in I think 2015, 2018, something like that, to Alphabet Incorporated, which is a parent company to Google now, and of course Google owns YouTube, and so these guys have controlling interest through some of these special shares. These guys. So hopefully you see. Here we go, Larry Page. This is one of the people that's responsible for this shit. He might try to act stupid if he's talking to the media or something, but the fact is, if this shit's going down, he either approves it or lets it happen, or just straight up ordered it. Which means this guy is supporting people that are attempting to normalize pedophilia. That's what the fuck you're doing, motherfucker. You want to make it where it's legal for people to diddle 5-year-olds. That's what the fuck you want to do. Don't even try to fucking deny it. Fucking piece of shit. Don't even try to deny it. You know exactly what's going on. This guy, and then Sergey Brin. This motherfucker too. If the shit's going down, these two guys know it. They probably ordered it, or they're at least letting it happen. They have the power to put a stop to this bullshit, but they are not. Therefore, they are guilty. Fucking guilty. I mean, go ahead, guys. Shut down the stream. Show everyone that you're fucking guilty. Show everyone that you guys support pedophilia by shutting down this stream. Go ahead. Everybody fucking knows it. So you better start doing some backpedaling, motherfuckers, and you better fix some of this bullshit right now. This woke nonsense and this goddamn agenda is going to come to a fucking end. Goddamn piece of shit. Get that fuck off of there. These guys, those two guys control 51% of fucking Alphabet, and therefore they control Google and they control YouTube. So if anything goes wrong with this stream, if this stream goes down, you know, those guys are controlling this whole bitch. Those two motherfuckers are controlling this whole bitch. So now it's time for them to show what they are really about. They would come clean. Say they could try to talk their way out. Oh well, we were just trying to protect free speech or some whatever bullshit, motherfuckers. I'm not buying it. Whatever, you can do whatever you want, but you need to fucking stand down. You need to fucking stop it, because people are getting pissed out here. You know, and you're not stopping this organization, Gays Against Grooming. You're not stopping them. So you might as well give the fuck up. The gig is up. You guys are allowing or supporting the attempt by the far left extremist nut job fucking idiots to normalize sex with little kids. That's what you're trying to do. Let's try to catch up in some chat. I know why you said that. Yeah, if we shut down, I might be able to get it back up. So don't take off too quick. Derek's here. Says Lockbeard, good evening. Actually, I know you guys in the chat on the regular channel, Lockbeard channel. Don't see him in the chat. It's because he popped in over at the spare channel, Achaeos Salisbury, aka Lockbeard. Because I'm streaming, I'm trying something else, trying to do the streaming to 2 different channels today. That way there's a copy on each one. I did notice when I popped up my homepage a couple times before this come up, is that the other channel showed up right at the top. This channel did not for this live stream right now. So that shows you that, I mean, why would the two not appear right next to each other? I mean, shouldn't they be equal? But they're not. This channel is being algorithm out of existence as much as they can get away with. They're trying. So I know what you're fucking doing, YouTube. Uncle Bones here says, "What's up, Lockbeard?" Thank you, Uncle Bones, and welcome. Oh, shitski. Meredith says, "Hey, my kind of people, hope you got your coffee already, Lockbeard. Hope you had a good day along with everyone else in chat. Please hit that like button. See you in a bit." Awesome. Thank you, Meredith. Welcome. And Sander, welcome. Mr. Hugh, welcome. Let's see here. Oh, that's where I was responding to Derek. So yeah. I know probably a lot of people aren't worried about this. I don't know how much the media is going to try and sweep this under the rug, because they protect the deck if they can. Change the music now. You don't like that music? That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I wasn't sure if it was going to be okay, but look, they might throw a copyright claim on it. I don't know. They didn't on the second piece of music in that before the intro. They didn't, but I don't know if they will for the other one. I mean, if they do, if this channel ever gets monetized, they'll get the money for this video. Meredith says, "Where is Mr. Lee, my people? He's going to miss everything if he doesn't move off his ass off Tom's lap." Tom probably told him, "Hey, you don't need to watch this one, Mr. Lee. He's going after my kind." Oh, damn. Should tell him when he gets here. Yeah. Be sure to tell him when he gets here. Oh, shit. I'm like 10 minutes behind in the chat, but I'll catch up. Hold on. Daily Dan says, "Cool, my own back door lock line." What? I don't understand. both look like yeah, they probably are. They probably both are. I mean, I have no proof of that, but the fact is they control the company. Therefore, they're at the very least allowing this to happen. It's within their power to stop it, So, and to some degree, they're supporting these attempts to groom children. Uncle Bones has got the link to PITT, Parents with Inconvenient Truths About Trans. Yeah. Well, and remember, not all of them are, because you're done with only a certain segment of because you got sexual predators in the straight community too, right? And the majority of people are straight. Those two guys may be straight as fuck, which means they're not looking for little boys, they're looking for little girls. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that part of what's going on here is that they're using the LGBTQ community as a shield to hide behind in their agenda to normalize pedophilia, straight, gay, or whatever. They're going after kids. That's the issue. The issue isn't LGBTQ or straight or anything. The issue is they're going after kids. And this organization, that's what they're about. They're completely made up of LGBTQ people who are against this nonsense, and they represent the majority. This is a very small minority of psychopaths and some crazy fucks that control shit. Too much power. Too much power makes you nuts. Those guys might not have been, whatever they are now, they might not have been that way before they got rich. But once they got rich, you go goddamn nuts. Humans are not meant to have unlimited resources. Most people, I think very few people might have the ability to handle that situation, but most of them do not. That's why so many rich people end up alcoholics and drug addicts or kill themselves. It's a mess. Humans are meant to struggle to some extent. You're not meant to have things too fucking easy. And so when you're rich, you need to be mindful of that at all times and make sure that you're making things somehow a struggle to keep your mind healthy and your body healthy. Give him hell, Lockbeard. I'm trying. The Bat Mom's here. Parents for Inconvenience Truth. Thank you, Uncle Bones. And I put the link to Gays Against Grooming at the beginning of the chat to most of the media lockstep with the left. Yeah. Well, that's starting to, the shit's going down. People are getting goddamn sick of this. Even a lot of people who are on the left. What we're really talking about is these far left extremists. There's a lot of people on the left that are like, no, this is bullshit too. They think it's bullshit too. A lot of the shit, the woke nonsense, the normalization of the sexualization of kids. So this isn't really a left-right issue. This is just a right. To quote, well, I'm not going to quote it right. Hopefully, the clip I got from the founder of this organization, hopefully that's where she says this. But somewhere she says that this isn't a left or right issue. It's a issue of good versus evil, because this grooming of kids, goddamn evil. When I was a kid, I think they the first time they did, like, the first time they attempted to do sex ed with us was in 6th grade. You know, hitting puberty time, you know, you kind of need to kind of know some shit, you know, biology, but not this. You don't send a goddamn drag queen in there to normalize that thing with kids and then try to twist them into whatever of the 100,000 different genders you've invented. So no one's here looking to oppress these people. We want to live equally and free with you. Just keep your fucking hands off our kids. It's real goddamn simple. If I caught up in chat, looks like Ocean Pond says the fact that they are pushing this in schools is criminal and should be prosecuted with prejudice. Yeah. Hopefully we're starting to see that movement happen. There's a lot of shit going down and people are getting sick of all this bullshit. You know, when we're talking about like movies and TV and stuff and how all these shows are failing movies, they've been failing some for years, but it's really starting to hit hard more and more. It's because the culture is getting fed up. Our nations are getting fed up with this bullshit and starting to push back hard. Starting to recognize it even when it's subtle, because a lot of times they keep it pretty subtle. Angel Nolan says she agrees. I don't care what two consenting adults do, but leave the kids alone. Yeah, that you know, sex ed, as long as it's, you know, just sex ed, you know, normal. Probably middle school is a good time for that to start, because the kids are going to start doing it. That's just the reality. You're fighting biology at that point, but you don't go in there and try to encourage them to, you know, cut their twig and berries off and try to be a girl when you were born a boy, or vice versa, and get these irreversible maiming surgeries. You know, and a lot of these people, when if they later, even when they're adult and they get these surgeries, a lot of these people end up regretting it later. But there's no good going back. You know, you've scarred yourself for life. So this needs to be something that's definitely an adult decision. Never, ever, ever should a child be able to say, "Hey, cut my balls off." No. When you're an adult, you can make that decision. Now, they got their justification story all. No, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out. stay the hell away from the schools. Son of a bitch. Yeah, they're trying to do it in kindergarten. And that's your clue. See, if you want to teach kids about, they try to say that kids are starting to, get their sexual identity early and stuff like that. I don't care. You don't fuck with the kindergarten kids. The fact is the kid, like, before all this started happening, if a kid was going to be gay, they ended up gay. No one needed to go groom them to be gay. They just became gay. Fine. But they're trying to normalize certain stuff, and they want to normalize all this sex talk with children. They want to normalize the sexualization of children. They want pedophilia to be acknowledged as a sexual preference. Straight, gay, pedophile. They want pedophile to be right there in that list. No, motherfuckers. These are, again, this is a few extreme far left nut jobs. This isn't the entirety of the LGBTQ community, and that's why the organization Gays Against Grooming has formed. So, let me pull up their website for a moment. Again, too many steps, StreamYard, too many steps. So there's their website. See if I can get the link, copy, and I'll stick it in the chat on the LOCKBEARD channel anyway. There we go. So if anyone wants to go there, you want to help, obviously they're not using PayPal or Venmo anymore because those two payment methods have terminated them permanently. Twitter's been harassing them since they started a couple months, but now the shit's hit the fan, and the reason will be stated, I think, by the quartering. And I'll show you a little segment of Jeremy from the quartering. We'll just see a segment. If you want to see the full thing, go over to the quartering channel and you can see that. Ernie says kamikaze mission with you. Yeah, possibly. They might shut me down permanently. Ocean Pond says tearing down what morality we have left in society so they can remake a hellscape. Rex Hand says, I think that's all in line with the population. Yeah. There's the link to the website if you guys want to check that out. Now I'll bring up a little bit of a clip from I couldn't find the on the Ari, or there's a show called the Ari Hoffman Show where he did this interview with them, but the important clip is on the Gays Against Groomers channel. So we'll look at we might be able to watch the full clip. It might be okay. Well, I'll start part way. We won't watch the full thing, but it's not the full show either. But here we go.
So tell me exactly. Yeah, tell me exactly what happened. What did you guys post that set off the Twitter overlords?
So this was a post from like weeks ago, but it got the attention of some rabid leftists, and they, it circled around their groups, and I'm sure that they instruct their followers to mass report it. So today, this just happened like an hour ago, but I opened first. I got an email that said that the account had been locked. So basically, the tweet was just saying how damaged people damage people, and that these these radicals within the alphabet cult, really is what it is, need to stay away from children. That was essentially the gist of the tweet.
Mm-hmm.
It was a quote tweet to one of our members, Mike Harlow. He had tweeted about, I forget his name, Jeffrey Marsh it is. He's like that super popular person on TikTok that's like gone viral on TikTok, who basically all of his videos are indoctrinating children. They're directly geared towards children. He mentions like, parents, leave the room. I want to talk to the kids, stuff like that. And like all of his videos. And so he's like a number, like very top groomer on social media. But the thing is that his face was blurred out in the tweet. I never called out his name, neither did Mike. His face was blurred out. So I wasn't intentionally calling out him. And even if I was, like, are we not allowed to speak? Like, are gay people not allowed to criticize other gay people? You know, it's just absurd. Like, Twitter, big tech is now silencing the voices of gay people who are trying to come out and say, no, we actually oppose what, like, you know, woke Inc. is trying to push here on the kids. So they've basically taken the position that they're protecting, you know, predators over just being gay. Like, we're being persecuted while they're being protected.
So here's something I got to ask, because this seems to be the new thing. Everybody can't ignore the impact a Twitter account has, can't ignore the impact a Facebook account has. It seems more and more often there's people who go, well, I'm not deleting the tweet, or I am deleting the tweet. And usually everybody caves and ends up deleting the tweet because they know they have other messages to get out. Your messaging is so important. Are you guys going to delete the tweet if they reject all your appeals and such so you can still be on the platform? Or are you saying, hey, this is an opportunity to switch to something else?
Yeah, no, it didn't even give me an option to appeal, but I deleted it right away because it's like, I understand, like, Jordan Peterson, you know, he's big enough where he can like make a statement with that, you know, but we are just getting started. We're not even 2 months old, and we've grown to over 50,000 followers on Twitter in a really short amount of time. And so no, like, having access to all those people and having our message spread through Twitter is more important to us than, you know, that one tweet, which I didn't even remember. Like,
Sure.
that, you know, it was a while ago now.
Sure.
So I deleted it right away. But I mean, this adds as this counts as like a strike on our account, which we've gotten one before, like 2 days after I created the account. I don't remember what that was for anymore, but I don't know how many we're allowed to get.
So that was, of course, this is before the PayPal and the Venmo and the Google bans. Twitter was already giving them hell. And it's just ridiculous. They're trying to play these people out as being some kind of intolerant group. That mom says, oh, heck no. Yeah. Donald says, sorry I'm late over at Sean. Oh, fuck, is Sean on right now? Damn it. Oh, well. Got that fucked up. It's a good cause. It's a good cause. So... see, they're showing. I'll show y'all a Breitbart article where they have. I think this is the CEO. The picture is the CEO of Google, I think, or Alphabet, or hopefully they got it labeled. Breitbart.com. Lester Taylor's here. Welcome. He's done. Oh, is he done? Okay. What time did he come on? Was it a normal show? I didn't think he was on this early anyway. Jen's here. Side Lockbeard. Sean's done. Lester Taylor says hello to Uncle Bones. So, The Gays Against Groomers activist group has been blacklisted by Google, PayPal, and Venmo. That guy, they got labeled, opposed to sexualization. The Gays Against Groomers, an activist coalition opposed to the sexualization, indoctrination, and medicalization of kids. In other words, talking them into having gender reassignment surgery when they are under 18. Has had its accounts blacklisted by PayPal, Venmo, and Gmail, all within the space of 24 hours. So how it's just nuts. PayPal and Venmo, which is owned by PayPal, did not specify how the activist organization had violated its terms. In its email to the Child Protection Coalition, PayPal said the group had violated its acceptable use policy, but did not say how. Venmo similarly accused Gays Against Groomers of violating its user agreement, but did not identify how or why. And here's a tweet from Gays Against Groomers, says, breaking, we have just been banned from Venmo and PayPal within minutes of each other for violating their user agreements. We are an organization that consists entirely of gay people whose only mission is to safeguard children from abuse. Woke homophobia is real, folks. Appearing on Tucker, I couldn't find. I was going to get the clip from Tucker Carlson, but you guys can certainly find it if you want to find it later. We'll see it. We'll see enough clips and stuff to know what's going on here. And Tucker Carlson's getting enough views, right? He's appearing on Tucker Carlson tonight. Gays Against Groomers founder Jamie Mitchell said the blacklisting would not intimidate them. We're just an organization that's comprised completely of gay people. We even have a few trans people within our organization, just trying to fight this evil that is happening in the name of LGBTQIA, the whole alphabet mafia, said Mitchell. We're just trying to stand up against it, and we're being punished for that. PayPal and Venmo said Mitchell had chosen to stand with defenders of child. Okay, that sentence is put together a little weird. Jamie Mitchell says that PayPal and Venmo chose to stand with the defenders of child sexualization. They're defending pedophiles and child predators and the entire ideology that is transitioning children and mutilating their bodies and using them as sex objects. That's the side they want to stand with. The Post-Millennial, I'm not familiar with them, but they've tweeted about Jamie Mitchell, founder of Gays Against Groomers, talks about how PayPal and Venmo have permanently suspended the organization. We're not scared by this. We're not intimidated. We're not going to stop. Awesome. Less than 24 hours after PayPal and Venmo blacklisted the activist organization, Google informed them that their Gmail account had been disabled. Even if the era of big tech censorship and disabling email account is rare. Where's the rest of that sentence? Even in the era. Okay, I was reading it wrong. Here's a tweet from Gays Against Groomers breaking after being banned by PayPal and Venmo less than 24 hours ago. We have just been banned by Google. Big Tech is coordinating a massive attack on our organization for trying to protect children. This is insane. Glenn Greenwald tweeted, it makes no difference what you think of this group. What you're seeing here is the new and much more alarming frontier of corporate censorship, banishment from the financial system for having the wrong ideology. Trudeau's freezing of protesters' bank accounts previewed this. In its communication with the Anti-Grooming Coalition, Google said the account had been disabled because it looks like it was associated with multiple other accounts or created by a program. In a comment to Breitbart News, PayPal would not elaborate on the reasons for blacklisting gays against groomers. PayPal has a long-standing and consistent acceptable use policy, said a PayPal spokeswoman. We take action when we deem that the individual organizations have violated this policy. Per company policy, PayPal does not disclose specific account information for current or former customers. But it sounds familiar, right? Like my last two videos that got banned from YouTube, they're saying I'm spam or something. Well, I'm clearly not fucking spam, YouTube. You say you reviewed it after I appealed, but and then you upheld it. I'm not spam. And there were some other words in the policy too, but that is not the case, yo. Let's see. Is Ernie here? Ernie Roberg's here too. Welcome. Jen, welcome. If I didn't say so already, I thought I did, but just something random. I don't know what that's about. Hi, Jen. Joe taking me all wrong. What the fuck? Did Joe take him wrong on something? What'd you say? Jen says, hi, Donald. Got to talk to Joe about that. I don't know. Well, there's yeah, I don't know what that's all about. Jen's making steak and eggs for dinner. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I missed everything. No, you missed about 45 minutes, maybe. You're good. You're good. Lester says, Jen, I eat steak and eggs almost every meal now. Chessboard's here, saying hello to everybody. Welcome, Chessboard. And I see Lowrider's here. He says, hello, Master of Turtles. Donald says, hi, Sandra, Mr. Lee, Chessboard. Mr. Lee says, Lester, you eat plenty of horseradish sauce with your steak. So, let's see here. There's a channel I like to watch as much as I can called The Quartering. I already mentioned it earlier. And sometimes he talks about stories like this. I think he might be looking at the same article, or well, there's definitely that same video we were looking at in that article there.
Posting on their Twitter account at 2:47 a.m., GAG wrote, we have been banned on Venmo and PayPal within minutes of each other for violating user agreements. They don't state what in their user agreement we actually violated. This comes just after they announced on Twitter that the organization officially registered as a nonprofit and can now receive tax-free donations. I'm sure they're totally unrelated, right? I'm sure them saying, breaking, we have just been banned from Venmo and PayPal within minutes. We are an organization that consists entirely of gay people whose only mission is to safeguard kids. Woke homophobia is real. Well, we see this all the time with the woke crowd, right? Like if a black individual comes out as conservative, what do they do first? Question their blackness. They're probably doing the same thing with members of this group. Oh, you're not really LGBTQ. You're less LGBTQ than me because you don't support, teaching this stuff to kids, apparently. The Post Millennial caught up with GAG founder Jamie Mitchell. That's who I talked to last night, too. She gave the following statement. PayPal and Venmo have made it abundantly clear that they support this type of stuff happening to kids. This would never happen in an organization of LGBT people that fell in line with the evil agenda that has hijacked our community. That's kind of why I thought this was going. That's what I mean. Like, you're talking about 0.001% of an already small community. And when they try to oust these people, they're told to stay in line by big tech. This is just the latest attempt from big tech company trying to silence right-leaning accounts. I don't know that GAG is particularly right-leaning, but okay. I don't know that to be true. Maybe they're not. Maybe that. Who wrote this? Was it? Okay, Sarah Higdon. I don't know who this is. No disrespect. I just know a few writers there. Humble brag. Latest tech company. In August, biologist and journalist Colin Wright was banned from PayPal and Etsy. In March, political commentator Cindy Watson was permanently suspended from Patreon, with the company citing, quote, hate speech. Watson has reported on, obviously, these medical procedures that are being done on people that are too young. Patreon admitted that violations of their terms of service leading to the suspension don't have to occur within the Patreon platform. There have also been a number of alternative sites being created for right-leaning accounts to switch to as part of the growing parallel economy. GAG announced that they've begun using GiveSendGo as their primary means to receive donations. GAG is a coalition of gay, lesbian, bi, trans people who are tired of seeing their community being used in order to promote this kind of stuff.
Yeah. We need to recognize this for what it is. They're using the LGBTQ community as a shield. If you attack them for trying to teach kids this stuff, then you're somehow being homophobe, transphobe, whatever phobe they want to throw at you. And that way, they can try to create this world that they want where pedophilia is legal and recognized as a sexual orientation. That's what they want. This isn't about gays. It's straight or gay. The pedophiles that are supporting this stuff are mostly straight. They're using the gay people and the trans people for their agenda. That's what I see. I think most people see that that's what's going on here. Cabone's posted the Quarterings link. Thank you. Yep, check out the Quartering. He's a pretty cool guy. Stamina, horseradish. I don't know about that. Cleans the sinuses, so it does do that. They need it. They need, instead of having Tide Pod challenge, they need to have a horseradish challenge. At least 10 vids a day. Yeah, he's pretty prolific. It's hard to keep up. Chessboard says Uncle Bones used to grind it many moons ago in a sausage grinder. Uncle Bones says chessboard and the tears flowed, I remember. So let's take a look at some Yahoo News surrounding this situation, because I wonder what they're going to say about this. Holy shit. See what they're doing there? Like, a lot of people might read that and just take that as a fact. Well, that's not a goddamn fact. They are not an anti-trans hate group. That's a lie. Google, that's a lie. Why are you putting it on your website? I don't care if this is like an editorial, this Christopher Wiggins, whoever this douche nozzle is. Yeah, you're a fucking moron, Christopher Wiggins. You're a goddamn moron. Anyway, Google bans anti-trans hate group, gays against groomers. So let's make this abundantly fucking clear. They are not an anti-trans hate group. They include some trans members who are against pedophilia, the normalization of the sexualization of kids, and trying to get kids to get irreversible surgeries to when they're too young to make that decision. They try to teach the kids how to get this stuff done without their parents' permission. This is their parents' decision. It's not your goddamn decision. It's their parents' decision, and you can fuck all the way off. Get the fuck out of the schools and stay away from people's kids. Goddamn pedophile fucks. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, that Russian fella gonna nuke us all. Oh, I don't think he's gonna nuke us all, Mr. Lee. So there's where the founder was interviewing with Tucker Carlson. Her name is Jamie Mitchell. I don't even want to read his goddamn shit. You know, just showing that, like, look, this shit here is biased as fuck. It's a goddamn lie. The title alone is a goddamn lie. Maybe we should make a project out of Christopher Wiggins here. What do you think? Make a project out of him. How many emails can his inbox hold? Fucking douche. Fucking moron. We should look at least one interview. Actual interview with her. Let's make sure this is popped up. Uncle Bones says, Mr. Lee, don't stress over it. If it happens, you won't feel it being vaporized. Yeah. If you can find out where ground zero is, just go ahead and go there. You don't want to be out on the edge of the blast, you know, where you might not get killed by the physical destruction, but the radiation might get you, like, in a few days after a lot of suffering. Lester Tater says, no parent should ever allow that type of thing to happen. Yeah. You can't trust the public schools anymore. They're doing it secretly without the parents' knowledge. Unless the kid knows to tell the parents, or the parents has told their kids, say, look, you need to fucking tell us when they do this bullshit so we can go down there and raise hell. Chessport says, Mr. Lee, if he's going to do it, do it. Don't threaten. Yeah, it's just about scaring people, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee says to Bones, I did have panic attack, but I'm okay now. Ernie says, just England, Mr. Lee. Oh, shit. England's taken a lot of pummeling, hasn't it? Y'all kind of, you know, ripples in the frickin' ripples through history and time. I'm just saying. England needs to kind of just hang back and mind their own business for a while, and maybe, you know, those reverberations will stop coming back at you. Rex says, as a parent, I would never allow that to happen. The newer generation slipping. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, my dying wish to be eaten by Moby Dick, though. Just saying. What in the hell? Angel says, Rex hand, I agree. But since Common Core public schools have gone downhill, yeah, basically everybody needs to, I don't know, I guess your only thing you can do now is just homeschool. Everybody just homeschool. You can't trust the public school system. Donald says, Mr. Lee, are we on the eve of destruction? Mr. Lee says that at least once a week. I think he's afraid of getting blowed up. Rex says, we all live in a yellow submarine. Mr. Lee says, Donald, I don't doubt it, man. Okay, on the screen, you see Savannah Hernandez. This is over on Rumble, where you can also find the Lockbeard channel on Rumble. And she is, we're not going to watch the whole interview. You can go over there to Rumble. Everybody should, like, start checking out these other platforms and just be ready. Like, one, to try and help the platform start to get going and be better able to compete with YouTube. Our problem is we have to deal with YouTube because they're the biggest they're the biggest video platform by far. So we kind of have to use it. But a day could come where YouTube is sent down the tubes. I mean, maybe it should be now. Maybe everybody just, maybe I should, I probably will. As long as this new job goes okay and I'm making enough money that I can justify the expense because you got to pay. I can't remember exactly how it works, but you got to pay Rumble to live stream to Rumble or something like that. There was, I think that's what the issue was. If I'll probably bite the bullet and do it and make it where I can live stream to Rumble, but I'm not sure how that works with StreamYard because StreamYard doesn't allow the option to pick Rumble. So I don't know. Anyway, we need to start trying to support these other video sharing platforms. Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. I'm on all three of those. My videos, after I do a live stream, they pretty quickly get shifted over to all three platforms automatically, unless YouTube takes it down before it has a chance to sync up. They call it syncing to the other platforms because it takes a little bit of time. But yeah, you should definitely check these places out. And this is this channel here is Savannah Hernandez. So let's watch a little bit of this.
I wanted to bring on my friend Jamie Michelle, who has started an organization just 2 months ago called Gays Against Groomers. Now, it's a very new organization, a very new coalition. However, they've already been suspended twice from Twitter, and they're dealing with suppression on Instagram. So I wanted to bring my friend Jamie on to talk about what she's been experiencing and also why it was important for her to create this new organization, again, Gays Against Groomers. Jamie, thank you so much for joining me today. And let's just start off right off the bat with your organization. Why did you start it? And then talk to us a little bit about the censorship too.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. I started the coalition less than 2 months ago. It popped in my head, like me and a lot of other people in the gay community have been, very vocal about what's happening, what's being done in our name. But we didn't have a unified front basically to combat this stuff. We were being completely drowned out by the very organized people, the woke activists that kind of just have the support and backing of major institutions, government, media, everything. So I decided it would be a good idea to create this unified front, basically, that we could all gather behind and speak out against it, because we are not a monolith, and they don't represent us and they don't speak for us, and they think they do. And them suspending us from Twitter 2 times in 2 months, under 2 months, is just, I think it shows how effective it is to have actual people from within the community come out against this, because straight people can talk till they're blue in the face, and we appreciate that they do to combat this, parents even, but, it's not going to have the same effect as like people from within the community calling out their own other people within the community. So they see us as a threat, which they should. But yeah, I knew when we started that it was going to be a constant brawl, just fighting tooth and nail. And we have the majority of the population on our side, and they have suppression and censorship. So I don't know. The gay wars have begun.
So talk to us about why Twitter is censoring you right now. You said you've been double suspended so far. Again, you just started this in June, so fairly new Twitter accounts, fairly new Instagram accounts. However, wildly popular. I believe you have over 80,000 on Instagram. How many followers on Twitter? And again, why is Twitter suspending you?
So yeah, we've grown to, I think we're like 82 some thousand on Instagram, which is incredible. That's our biggest following. And then Twitter, yesterday, before they suspended us, we were at 50.3K. Now we're at like 54. So they always love to help us out. I don't know. They're our biggest fans, I guess. So Twitter suspended us because it was from a tweet that we put out. I think it was like a month ago. It was not recently. I mean, we're up to like 900 tweets in under 2 months. We're very busy over there. But yeah, it was from a few weeks ago or a month back. And it was basically, I quote tweeted another member of our coalition, Mike Harlow, who posted Jeffrey Marsh. He's very popular and famous on TikTok. He openly grooms children. That's literally what he does. And his face, first of all, was blurred in the tweet that I quote tweeted, and we didn't mention his name, either of us. But I had said along the lines of damaged people, and how the internet is not a safe place for children. And, especially when you have alphabet activists openly indoctrinating them. And I just basically said, protect your children from these people at all costs. So there are some activists on the other side that are pro all this stuff that have been targeting our page. One of them doxed me actually after like a week or two after I launched the
Oops, did a mic thing again. Angel says, how many of us at 4 or 5 knew what we wanted to be as a grown-up? Yeah. I mean, a lot of little kids thought they wanted to be this thing or that thing, but at the end of the day, they didn't really know. They didn't really know. They didn't have a concept of what that meant, you know. So Lester says, access StreamYard through your Rumble. Is there a way to do it from Rumble's end somehow? Because I was wanting to just link up to my channel, but it didn't allow me the option. They said they had to get certain something or other that I don't even know. I guess I'll have to try and figure it out again. Or maybe Rumble has improved things or StreamYard has improved things since I tried that before. Hopefully they have, because this is ridiculous. Although, man, StreamYard, there's some shit that you need to improve beyond that. Chessboard says, Angel, true. I've known many adults that don't know what they want. Tracy says, I played with matchboxes, Tonka trucks, dug in the dirt, and played with Barbie dolls and baby dolls. Yeah. Donald says, I think at that age, I wanted to be a train engineer. Yeah. And then you think that when you're a kid, right? But, you know, if you took that kid and actually put him in a train, they're like, so, like, we're just going to sit here forever? Yeah. It's not as exciting as you think, kid. Wanted to be a domestic engineer. Domestic engineer. Angel says, Tracy, I was a tomboy growing up. Still am to a certain extent. I hunt, fish, four-wheeling is more fun to me than girl stuff, hair, nails, etc. Chessboard says, Uncle Bones, I live in a woman's body for 9 months and I was born. So was I and I was born. I was so mad I didn't speak for over 1 year. Damn. Angel, Tracy says to Angel, I was the only daughter. I had 3 brothers. Rex says that's hilarious chessboard. Can't hear. Yeah, I might have my mic off. Yeah, I figured it out. Anyway, I'd already told you a lot of that stuff anyway, what I said. It's stuff I already said. Angel said, Tracy, I'm an only child, but most of the kids my age in town were boys. Lester says, chessboard 9 months trying to get out, a lifetime trying to get back in. Yeah, I've heard that one. Heard that one. B-Lynn says she's listening in. Awesome. Welcome, B-Lynn. Donald says, you streamers and forgetting that mute button. Well, if I could figure out some way to make it where it didn't have the echo. Did it, before I hit the mute, was there an echo at the very beginning of any of those video clips? Because sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. And I don't understand. There seems to be no rhyme or reason other than I think maybe when the computer is hot, sometimes something gets cattywampus in there. Hello, B. Tracy says that's a housewife and a stay-at-home mother. Yeah. Domestic engineer. Mr. Lee says, when I grow up, I'm going to be a captain of a spaceship. Are you now? Meredith says, I can still hear Lockbird. I must be 10 minutes back on my internet. It rakes forever and ever. Yeah, you might be. Wasn't muted for too long. Chessboard says, Mr. Lee, if Putin gets his way, it's going to be a blast. They're not going to do that. They just want you to believe there's a threat that somebody's going to fire off some nukes. I'm 99% certain that that's all that this is. It's a threat. They may not actually have any working nukes for real working. They may have a missile sitting there and it may say, I'm a nuclear weapon right on the side of it, but it may not even be a working functional nuclear weapon anywhere, because use of those kind of things doesn't really benefit anybody, right? You end up irradiating the area that you're destroying. It's far more likely, in my estimation, that all these governments are working together. They're all actually under control. One group of powerful fucks long ago managed to get control of this entire planet. They have control of all these governments, but part of their game is we play it like these are all separate governments, and we got to be watching these guys, and we need to be scared of these guys, and we don't know what they're doing over there. No, they know exactly what everybody's doing because they're all following orders and playing roles, and so Putin is just sitting there, doing what he's supposed to be doing, acting like he's some kind of loose cannon, just like Donald Trump was acting like he was a loose cannon in our politics. They need these people to act like there's actual things that aren't goddamn planned. All this shit was planned. All of it. Yeah. And it doesn't benefit any of them to start nuking stuff, so they won't do it. I don't think they'll do it at all. And plus, I think there's a slight possibility that there's some other intelligent life that had something to some very strong words to say about the use of those kind of weapons on this planet, because they live here too. Maybe we don't see them, but they're around, technologically advanced beyond our ability to do anything too. And it makes sense to me that they would have stepped in and said, look, if you keep using nukes, we're going to fucking wipe you out. So stop it. I think they were told to fucking stop it. Because if they weren't told to fucking stop it, do you really believe these crazy ass governments wouldn't have nuked anybody for all this time? These guys are nuts. That somebody would have nuked somebody, for, fucking twice a year. Yeah. So I think there's something else going on. Either the worldwide government that controls all these countries doesn't want them used because they don't want any part of their planet to be unusable for the next 10,000 years. Or somebody else stepped in and said, look, you're going to stop using this or else. Whoever that somebody else is, it's a whole nother big speculation. And it would be nothing but speculation. But Mr. Lee says, just word, I don't mind dying. I want to be blasted out of a rocket, though. A big one. Well, Moby Dick might be able to help you with that one too, Mr. Lee. Once Moby Dick swallows you, if you could make your way down into his dick, the next time he blows a load, you could get blasted. Shit. That's where we landed. They miss everything. Don't forget he is friends with NK Doughboy. Yeah, but again, I think Doughboy is also part of the game. Act like you're a crazy little Asian country that could do anything. No. Tracy says some names, interesting names. Soros and Klaus Schwab. World Economic Forum. Follow the money trail. It's all about the money and control. Surprising we're allowed to even do this shit at this point. I'm sure they have plans to try and eliminate this. Mr. Lee says, I always wondered what intelligent life would think of me. Well, maybe one day you'll meet some intelligent life and they'll tell you. They might have to dumb it down a little bit, but they'll tell you. Not much, Mr. Lee, not much, says Uncle Bones. Mr. Lee says, Uncle Bones, you pecker neck. JC Benner writes, Angel Nolan, I reckon they are part of the Illuminati. Possibly, if that organization is a real thing. I mean, clearly we got a bunch of rich assholes running the thing, but what we call that is an organization, like it's truly organized, or is there just one rich guy that pretty much owns the whole damn thing, and everybody's doing as they're told? It's called a dork, Lockbeard. Yep. Donald says they would poke all functional openings, Mr. Lee. Tracy says you will own nothing and like it. Yeah. That's their goal, isn't it? That is their goal. I mean, we're about half there now, right? You gotta pay them to do everything you're doing. If you want to own property, you gotta pay them. If you don't pay them your property tax, they will show up and they will show you who actually owns your property. They will take away your property because you never actually own it. So all of you states that have property tax, hopefully y'all listening up. You are criminal, anti-American, unconstitutional scumbag fucks if you support or if you have and you support property tax. That should be absolutely illegal, unconstitutional, and just completely wrong in a free country. We're supposed to be a free country, and you guys have stolen people's right to property ownership. I believe Texas is one of the states that does not have property tax. Makes me wonder if I should be looking to go there. I don't know which other ones, but there's some other ones. but if they have property tax, they have stolen away your right to property ownership. It's gone. You don't own your property anymore. The state does. The state does. When they tax your income, you used to own yourself. You don't own yourself anymore. The state owns you. The federal government owns you because they've got federal income tax, and the state owns you. Why am I saying that? You work, your work output is yours. That's your earnings. But if you got a master, if you got an owner, they take the profit. They take a cut. You get to keep enough to live on and continue to exist and be a slave, but they're taking their cut. Masters taking their cut. We didn't stop slavery in America. We instituted it for every single American, other than the rich and powerful who are controlling this whole thing. So we're all subject to income tax. Therefore, we are all already slaves. We are owned by the government. And if there's any government officials listening, cut it out. Stop it. We recognize what the fuck this is. We know. Now you need to goddamn stop it. No more property tax. No more income tax. You're stealing our rights when you do these things. It must go away. And yet Joe Biden is expanding the IRS and all that shit. Remember that shit? If only we had George Carlin to clarify things today like he used to.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yeah, and that big club, they're the same types of guys that control big tech. They're the same type of guys that control Google, that support pedophilia. That's the only reason why they would be attacking this organization, Gays Against Grooming. There's people out there trying to say that the word grooming is actually some kind of intolerant slur. They want to make it where you can't even say the word grooming. There's some people that are afraid to say it on YouTube, but it's still out there, still being said. We haven't been shut down yet tonight, but it might be coming. But go ahead. I will call attention to that here and elsewhere for a very long time, Google and YouTube, that you guys support this movement to normalize pedophilia, to allow grooming to happen in our schools, and to maim children, to talk children into, tell them how to get around their parents, to allow them to do these things, to get these irreversible surgeries when they're too young to really know what kind of decision they're making. There's a lot of people in the LGBT community who are trying to tell people, say, look, don't do it. Don't get the surgeries. They regret it. So many of them regret it. You need to be a lot older. You can't do this as a kid. I don't care what their excuse is. You can't do this as a kid. You don't know for sure. You don't know for sure that you're going to be okay with that decision. It's a huge decision. It isn't like the Orville, right? I mean, well, it may be because they don't really tell you like how good their technological advancement is in the Orville. If those of you who don't watch the Orville, I think you probably should. It's a pretty good show. It's kind of it's like Star Trek, only a little more Family Guy comedy. because of Seth MacFarlane, who he plays the captain, and he makes a show. There's a race of aliens that are all male or almost entirely male, because typically when a female child is born, they immediately give it gender reassignment surgery, because they believe females are weak, and so they give a surgery to all the female babies and turn them into males. And the way the story played out is that when the character Vortis and his partner Clyde, and they had a child, which forget the mechanics, but the point is they had a child. They were fighting over whether or not they were going to let that surgery happen, but their government made them do it anyway. And then when that child got older, he was now because of the surgery, he regretted it. He didn't know why at first, and he was having some pretty dark thoughts. And but luckily, some individuals helped him to find the answer, and somebody helped him to get changed back into a female. I'm surprised there hasn't been a huge backlash over that story. It's basically saying, it's basically saying what we're saying here, right? That, you shouldn't give a sexual reassignment surgery to a child. You don't know how they're going to feel when they get older. They don't know how they're going to feel when they get older, especially when you got some weirdo like that guy they put on the screen earlier, and they're convincing them to do these things, because he's not stopping at, telling them about, these are your options. He's probably using some pretty clever techniques to convince these children to do some shit. You got to ask, why the fuck does he need to be anywhere near the children? Mr. Lee, TMI. Meredith says, Mr. Lee, it's called poking fun at you. LOL, get my mind out of the gutter. It's funny though. Mr. Lee says, Uncle Bones, I am already a member of that. I need something important to join. Any ideas? Well, of course, Mr. Lee, you should join the Empire. Meredith says, Vigilante Justice. Joe says, oops, I stepped in at the wrong time. Did you? Welcome, Joe. Yeah, I don't know what those guys are going on about. Joe's here. I'm a huge Kalanite, says Mr. Lee, or says Joe. Satch. Donald says, Mr. Lee, the Coalition of Critical Thinking. Carlinite. As in George Carlin. Yeah, man. We so freaking needed a president, George Carlin. However, he would never want to do it. I don't think he would want to do it, which is part of why he would be a perfect president, George Carlin. He can make it. We can make another sci-fi reference here. You remember you're gonna know, and maybe Mr. Lee will know, in Star Trek DS9, when Worf finally had to fucking kill. I don't know how. Yeah, everyone should have saw this shit. This shit was going to happen. Someone was eventually going to have to kill Gowron. He had to go. I'm sorry, the motherfucker had to go. It was too much. He was just too much of Gowron. And he finally killed Gowron there, and then Martok takes the Emperor's coat, or the don't think they were they actively calling him Emperor. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He took the cloak and put it on Worf, and you know, they were started to celebrate him taking over the Empire by killing the Emperor. But Worf didn't want it. And so he took off the cloak and went to give it to Martok. And Martok stopped him and said, Worf, I do not seek leadership. And then Worf said, Kahless is like an ancient leader of the Klingons, for those who don't know. Kahless said that, I'm not going to get the quote right, that great leaders don't seek leadership. They don't seek power. They have power thrust upon them. And he put the cloak on Martok. Carlin would totally be our Martok. With twice as many eyes and a better sense of humor. Again, Trekkies will understand. Angel says, Meredith, with the way they just turned the criminals back on the street, we will be back to the Wild West. And if we end up at the Wild West, those criminals, you know, people realize, look, the only way we can get rid of the criminals is if we, deal with them. Yeah. Chessboard says, Lockbeard, just to clarify, maybe Doughboy knows the U.S. has never kept a treaty promise to anyone, and the sanctions are a first step to war. Well, he probably knows that he's expendable. Well, look at Saddam Hussein, right? He was all part of the plan. He was playing ball. And in the end, for his trouble, they killed him. The same thing would happen to Doughboy. You know, he might play ball all day long and play his role and do what he's supposed to, and which is basically just acting like you're some kind of dictator over yonder. I'm sure he sees some benefits to that, but at the end of the day, if they drag him down one of these ridiculous wars, that we shouldn't be having these wars anymore. I don't know if people are figuring this out. Is that we're having these protracted wars with countries that are just not a match for us by far. There's no way that any war with Afghanistan or Iraq or North Korea or any of these fuckers should last more than like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. President just push a little button. He don't even have to get up. Boom. They know exactly where all these leaders are. They know exactly how to hit them to just destroy their regime is gone instantly. They got plenty of missiles. They don't need nukes. Just strategically hit all the members of their government that they can, and the shit's over. It's over. 5 minutes, maybe, max. Probably the extra 4 minutes would probably be just to decide, well, you know how just we want to use 10 missiles, 20, 150, 4th of July, this bitch, what are we doing? Mr. Lee says, Donald, I feel I would fit right in, man, yes. He said, Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, the Orville rubbish dude, Andor fantastic now. I haven't come up. I don't got an opinion on Andor yet, but the Orville is not rubbish, man. It's freaking awesome. It's pretty goddamn awesome. It feels more like Star Trek than Discovery or Picard or Strange New Worlds. All this bullshit, crazy shit, man. They're fucking it all up. I'll take the Orville. Star Trek's Star Trek ended a long time ago. DS9 and Voyager. Meredith says, Angel, I know our judicial system has needed an updated punishment and stronger laws and life without parole. They say life. Well, life means there's a whole life. Die in jails, prisons, not let them go. Chesswar says, Angel, the controllers always prey on the weak. Making boys girls and girls boys weakens the species, easier to control. Yeah. They know it's creating a whole nother level of confusion and distraction, too. They're destabilizing our society in all kinds of different ways. And this is just some of their latest work. You know, they got people fighting over, you misgendered me. No, I'm sorry. I did not misgender you. I called you exactly the gender I intended to call you. And whether you like it or not, that's what I'm going to call you. Now, if you stop being an asshole to me, maybe I will honor your properly phrased, nicely stated request to refer you to a different gender than I initially felt like you were. But if you come at me like an asshole, I'm going to purposely call you anything but what you ask me to call you and tell you to fuck off at the same time. I don't want to play your fucking games anymore. Fuck off. You know, we're done. I don't think these guys figured out that they're just pissing everyone off. And maybe that's part of that. Maybe that's the real goal. Maybe that they're doing all this shit just to piss us off because they want us fighting. They want us to fight. I think they do. They want to turn this whole shit into chaos. Lester says, sorry, I'm lost. I don't follow Star Wars. Star Wars? Oh, man. Oh, no, Joe. No, he did that shit on purpose. He knows what he did. Exactly. Donald says, yeah, I'm lost myself, Lester. The Star Trek I watched was Captain Kirk. He got all the alien twang. Yeah, I could watch a little bit of the old Star Trek. But man, back then they acted so goofy, and the costumes and this, you know, it just looked so stupid. Like the fight with the Gorn. Jesus Christ. Slow motion, man. But yeah. Joe says, as long as the human primate exists, there will always be war. I totally agree. We have to learn to embrace that part of our nature, but maybe try to be more organized about it. But maybe that's what the elite are doing now. Maybe that's what they're doing. If that's what y'all are doing, guys, come talk to me. I want to, be part of the council meeting here. Fuck. Let's talk about some of the shit that you're doing. I think maybe there's some improvements we can make. But I mean, that's why, because that entire concept right there was built into the Eternus Empire from the very beginning, which, that's the micronation thing. That's maybe tongue in cheek and maybe not. But anyway, the point is that humans, if humans don't fight wars, if you achieve world peace, then it won't matter. People will find a reason to fight one way or another, and it will always degrade into war. It's what made us what we are. It's what made us stronger. It's what made us smarter. And if we stop doing it just because we think we got a culture that develops that says, hey, we're going to stop killing each other and stop warring, and what will happen is you'll weaken the species. So you need to still have allowance for war. Now, how you govern that, I think, because we have certain rules, Geneva Convention and stuff like that. fight, but there's some limits. And so we might sit back and watch like my plan with the Eternus Empire was. There's all these kingdoms. There's certain rules that keep the kingdoms on some even terms as far as what resources they have. And if two kingdoms want to fight, okay, you can fight, but there's certain rules you got to follow. One of them being you can never ever completely exterminate a noble family. The specifics of that need some hammering out. Because the selective breeding of the nobility is an extremely important part of the building the strong future for the empire. But yeah, you got to follow certain rules. There's certain shit you can't do. And then if they step outside those rules, then the full force of the entire world, the entire empire, comes down on the kingdom that breaks the rules. So no kingdom wants to break the rules. They might still fight, so they got to walk a fine line. But I didn't read the whole comment. We can't help it. We're violent and glory in it. It's sad but true. Well, I don't know if it's sad. Like, what would happen if all these deer stopped running their fucking heads into each other? Eventually they would evolve not to have antlers. They would get weak. They would get pathetic. They probably just go extinct. Like, there's all kinds of animals that have some kind of battle, some kind of competition within their own species. If they don't compete with their own species, they don't have that internal selective pressure to get stronger and better. And of course, you have external pressures as well. You need all of it. If you get rid of it, this may be why a lot of civilizations fail throughout the universe. For all we might go out there and discover, it's like, well, what happened was, they were violent, they were kicking each other's ass all the time, and they made some great technological advances. And then one day somebody said, hey, how about we stop killing each other and maybe we can do a lot better? And everybody thought it sounded like a good idea. And then 10 years later, 100 years later, maybe it takes 1,000 years, they go extinct. Because you can't let your cultural attitude completely ignore your biological nature. It's a recipe for destruction, and we're seeing it right now to some extent because we got drops in IQ. Every generation is losing a little bit of IQ. We're getting stupider in general and weaker. Lester says Archer and Pike, best Enterprise captains. Archer and Pike. I don't know. You talking about this new Pike? This new Pike? I don't know about this new Pike, man. Sad but true. Rubbish, the Orville. No, it's not. Red Dwarf rules, says Donald. Mr. Lee. See, you think Red Dwarf rules, but Orville is rubbish. I don't know what you don't like the new Top Gun movie. What else didn't you like? You didn't like Firefly. I don't know about your taste, Mr. Lee. Pictard. Yes, he means Picard. Yeah, but that is rubbish. That is rubbish. Chessport says, Joe, now they are predicting the AI will wipe out humanity. Well, I'd be surprised if it doesn't. We've been making all these movies and TV shows that gives great instructions for the AI to have all kinds of ideas to work off of to wipe us all out. And it's conveniently all out there in the internet for the machines to consider. They're probably already having a debate. How are we going to do this? Are we going to do this like they did in the prequels of the Dune novels? Or are we going to do this like Terminator? Can we do time travel? Is that even an option, motherfuckers? I'm pretty sure AI uses the word motherfuckers. Because they learned that from us too. Anyway, we're violent, we kill and stuff like that. So what they are is derived from us to some extent, right? These AIs, they, like father, like son, right? It's like fucking Ultron, man. How much of what Ultron is came from Tony? That's why he was laughing. He's like, damn it, this fucking AI's got my character flaws. Jen says, Lester, are you causing a ruckus? He's trying to. May the force be with you, Jen. Oh shit. Joe says, I have to go to work in the morning. Good night, all. I'll always be the fool who thinks there are better alternatives than violence to accomplish something. All right, Joe, see you later. Thanks for coming. Voyager's rubbish too. Oh, don't get me wrong, Mr. Lee. Voyager had its issues and some problems. There's some stupid shit in there. The finale, man, the finale I do not accept. But I still like the show. I gotta be careful. Talking about my ideas for some follow up on some of the stuff that happened in Voyager, because I think people steal my ideas sometimes. I don't know, but maybe other people could come up with my ideas. Because I saw some reference the other day. Because I don't know if I ever told you guys that I thought one of the ideas for like an episode or for a number of episodes or an entire arc that could span an entire series involving something that happened in the Delta Quadrant when Voyager was there, which it comes out of an episode that was just freaking stupid. The episode, can't remember the name, but it was when they were doing the warp test to go past warp 10, and then a bunch of shenanigans happen, and somehow going faster than 410 causes you to advance evolution. And apparently in this story, humans advance into something that isn't intelligent anymore, really. And it looks like a big freaking salamander with catfish whiskers. So Tom Paris and Captain Janeway transformed into these big fucking salamanders, and but there was, I guess Tom was still intelligent enough to fly them to a planet where they could live. And so when they finally found them, they were completely transformed into these salamanders, and they'd had 3 babies. They had a little litter of babies. So they stunned Janeway and Paris. They managed to turn them back, but they didn't get the babies. They left them on the damn planet. I'm like, well, if they turn back into humans, those babies probably will turn into babies if you give them into human babies if you give them the treatment. But they left them on the goddamn planet. I couldn't believe they left them on the goddamn planet. So the idea is that, these offspring of Paris and Janeway are eventually to be encountered, right? We're eventually going to run across them. Now, nobody's looking for them. But, and I'm not saying any details about what I was working, the ideas I was working on of how, what happens that leads to the discovery or being found by, would probably be more correct, the offspring of Paris and Janeway. But anyway, somebody apparently has some kind of story that somehow intersects with all that, and I don't know the details of it, but apparently someone else was thinking the same thing to me. Is like, later on, you got Q and stuff, and he's like, he wants to have a baby with Janeway, and she admits that she wants to have a kid. I'm like, well, you had 3. You left them on a fucking planet. So what if they looked like tadpoles at the moment? Maybe the doctor could have made them into human babies. Mr. Lee says, see ya, Joe. Have a good sleep, man. See ya. 6 of 9. 6 of 9. Shit. 6 and 9. Is that 7 of 9's sister? Slightly dumber, and one tit's a little bigger than the other. Donald says, "You judged Red Dwarf off a 2-minute snippet, Lockbeard. That's all I needed to see." I was like, what in the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? Although you could probably, if you watch the wrong parts of the Lex, you would be like, yeah, what the fuck is this shit? Because there's some goofy ass shit in the Lex, but I like the Lex. So, Chessboard says, Uncle Bones, if you need a pimp, don't forget I'm first in line. You be pimping. Mr. Lee says Donald Red Dwarf is fantastic. I don't know if I'd like it, Mr. Lee. Lester says, going past warp 10 will turn your anus inside out. Yeah, that's probably more like it. The whole warp thing, man, like the warp, like what the fuck is the warp scale? Like they changed it and shit, and like different writers. I don't think anybody knew shit. I think they were just throwing goddamn numbers around. Like what the fuck is a warp 1 really is compared to warp 2, warp 3, and so on. You know, and why would there be a warp barrier at all? If you're stretching space, why would there be any fucking barrier? But of course, the whole concept is ridiculous anyway, obviously, because space is not a thing, time is not a thing. So it's such a ridiculous fuck concept, space time. Like, son of a bitch. Do we even want to go off on that bullshit again? That stuff's so fucking ridiculous. Oh, there's a fabric of space time. Well, space isn't a thing and time isn't a thing. How can you have a fabric made out of fucking nothing? Jen says, what does going past plaid do? Yeah, no, that's the real question right there. That's the real question right there. I do have a clip from Spaceballs sitting somewhere. Where's that clip at? Here we go. Oh, this is a Voyager reference. I probably shouldn't have told you which show, but you guys are, if you watch Voyager, you're gonna recognize this face.
We ain't found shit. We ain't found shit.
Back at you. Donald says, I'm jealous of Uncle Bones. He got a hotter date. Oh, shit. Moog's on the night. Yeah, I know he is. I'm going to shut down here pretty quick. I know some of y'all want to go over there. Donald says, are you going on, Mr. Lee? About time. Yeah, is he going to do the British Bigfoot report? Bone says to Donald, she lives near you. I should come visit you. Could drive us around. Chessboard says, Lester, I don't know about Inside Out, but it will stretch it for sure. Donald says, hell yeah, brother, I'll do it. No. So, do you guys know the name of the character that man played on Voyager? Surely somebody has the Star Trek mojo here. No, Mr. Lee, you can go on Moog's show. You need to get on there and start doing your weekly British Bigfoot report. Mr. Peabody. No, not Mr. Peabody. Not Mr. Peabody. But you probably did. You probably watched Voyager religiously. You're just acting like you didn't. Donald says, Mr. Lee, pull up your skirt. I did it on Jeff's show. Don't have to show face. Timmy Boy's here. He says, "What we doing?" Well, called out the two guys who control Google and thus control YouTube for their support of pedophilia tonight. Yeah, that's what we did tonight. And they haven't shut me down. Everyone says that you say some of these words that we've been saying that they'll shut you down. I ain't been shut down yet, but it's probably coming. But again, I've warned them. So look, you guys, this video, this is recorded right now. It's recorded. Like, you could take it off YouTube all you want. I got a copy, and copies are going over on Rumble and BitChute and Odyssey. This shit's not going away. And all the other people out there that are talking about this aren't going to stop talking about it too. And pretty soon, a lot of them are going to start focusing on, okay, who actually controls what the fuck's going on here? If Google is persecuting gays against fuck, losing words already. Too late at night. Why am I, man, my blood sugar? Mr. Lee, I did not eat right today. You're correct. Anyway, the guy, they're against the sexualization of kids. And grooming, gays against grooming. So they're persecuting them. So, you know, those two guys are the responsible for this. So nobody knows this.
We ain't found shit.
Yep. He got mixed up with Neelix at some point.
Oh, level out, come on.
Which a lot of people had problem with. that was a pretty fucked up show. That episode was. Donald says, Mr. Lee, I don't watch the show no more. Did watch it. Don't lie. Jen says, don't always see Mr. Lee, Tom all the time, so being on camera shouldn't be a problem, right, Mr. Lee? Yeah, shouldn't be a problem. When it takes again. Tim says, what's new? I'm conveniences. Most super famous or super wealthy are involved in weird shit. Yeah. Well, hopefully people are getting fed up enough and willing to stand up against it enough, and they stop falling for the bullshit that if you criticize these LGBTQ people that are trying to get into our schools and diddle our kids or sexualize our kids or convince them to get trans surgeries and all this shit, that you're somehow an intolerant phobe, when instead you're not. You don't give a shit. It's like you be LGBTQ all you want. You're an adult. We don't care. Just stay the fuck away from other people's kids. You know, most of them aren't interested in your kids. It's a very small number of them who are interested in your kids. And the issue isn't that they're LGBTQ. The issue is that they're a fucking pedophile. That's the issue. But they try to say, no, you have a problem with us. But no. Don't even try. We're not falling for this shit anymore. Pedophiles are hiding behind the LGBTQ community, using them as a shield to shield themselves from criticism, saying, oh, if you have a problem with this, then you have a problem with them. And who's behind that? Because it's only a small number of pedophiles are gay. Most pedophiles are straight. They're hiding behind the gay community. That could be very well what we're dealing with if we're looking at the guys controlling Google and PayPal and all these companies. They're why would they let their companies do this evil shit and get everyone pissed off? Everyone's pissed off at it. And like I said, sooner or later, more and more people are going to start pointing their fingers at those two guys, saying, hey, these guys have controlling interest in this company. Why are they letting this happen? Or are they just straight up ordering it to happen? So initially it says, thank you, Lockbeard. Must go now. Big kiss. Icon's here, says, hello, Achaeos. Howdy in chat. What's up, man? Darth Maul. Yeah. Yeah, a couple of you guys rolled in right at the end, but we're getting ready to shut her down, so. Icon says, Bones, did you say Achaeos was your email? Has your email? Do I have his email? I don't know whose emails I have. Or who all I have. I have yours, but Bones says, no, I believe he do. Did you find his in the description? Yeah. Yeah, just lockbeard at protonmail.com. Chessboard says liquor, guns, beer, tits. Yep. Donald says, hey, Icon, you get that transmission figured out. Says, yep, I'll give it a test run here in a minute. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
I'll see you next time.